Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome dear students, this is Miss Layla Al-Jihani. Inshallah today we will continue our unit 5, making choices. Today inshallah we will cover lesson 11, the writing. Before we start the writing, let's recall what we covered in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson we covered 2 lessons, the reading and the project. Okay, in the reading we read the text, which is the right choice. Okay, we scanned the reading for details and we answered questions related to the text, and we did the project as a homework. Hopefully you did. If you did the homework, please share it. Read the conversation in front of your classmates. As we said, we have you have to work in group of 3. One will be the reporter, the interviewer, and 2 students will be the opposite sides of an issue in your community. Okay? Inshallah, in our lesson today, by the end of the lesson, you will be able to identify gerunds. This is not the first time we cover the gerunds. Gerunds in giving context. Okay, it's like a revision, inshallah, today. Write about choices you have made and their consequences. This is the part related to the writing. Now, in your workbook, I gave you a homework, page 121. You have a reading, you have a text. I'm sure you read it. I will just go through the answers with you, okay? If you haven't done the homework, please pause the video and read, answer the questions, and here we will see the answers together, okay? For number 1, teenagers have to make decisions about college and their careers. We have to put careers here. Number 2, teenagers' friends are the most important influence when they buy things. 3, teenagers often go to their parents for advice on more serious matters. Yeah, miss, from where did we get the answers? The answers, we get it from the text on your book, page 121. We have a text. We should read it and answer based on the text. Okay? Number 4, many teens think that it is a good idea to make decisions with the help of parents and friends. 5, to some teens, it's okay to sometimes make mistakes when they make decisions. They learn this way. Okay? This is it related to the homework. Now, starting our lesson for today, page 56. Please open your books, page 56. We have the writing. We have an article. Read the article about making choices. Okay, it's related to the topic of our unit, which is making choices. Circle the gerunds. Circle the gerunds. Do you remember how do we form the gerunds? We covered it, I think, to the last 2 units. One of the lessons we covered the gerunds. So this is not a new information. We will just go revise the information. How do we form gerunds? Why do we make it? I will ask you this question. What do you like to do? If I ask you, what do you like to do? You can tell me, I like swimming, I like reading, I like writing. You can express what the things you like. Here, if you look at these statements, I like reading books, I like eating fruit, I like swimming, I like playing football, I like watching TV. Where is the verb in these sentences? Where is the verb? Can you tell me? Where is the verb? Yalla, let's underline the verb. Where is the verb? I heard reading, I heard eating, swimming, playing, watching. Is this correct? You listed some verbs. If you look closely, the verb in these sentences is like. This is the verb in these sentences. What about reading, eating, swimming? What do we call it? We call it gerunds. We call it gerunds. So the verb in this statement, in these sentences, is like. This is the verb, okay? And reading, eating, swimming, playing, watching, we call it gerunds. How do we form the gerund? Like here, if we look at these sentences, playing football is better than watching it on TV. I prefer playing football to watching it on TV. Here we have the verb playing here. It's a gerund which works as a noun. It works as a noun. The gerunds, they work in a sentence as a noun. They can be the subject of the sentence and they can be an object, okay? They work, they function like Ahmed, Muna, they form, it's like a noun, okay? So playing football is better than watching it on TV. So the verb here is, okay? I prefer, prefer is the verb. Playing, watching, these we call them gerunds, as we said, okay? So how do we form the gerunds? How do we construct it? We have the verb plus ing. Here we have two sentences. I enjoy learning English. Learning here, it's a gerund. In this sentence, it functions as an object of the sentence, okay? Learning is fun. Here, it's the subject in the sentence, okay? Gerunds are sometimes, as we said, work as a subject or an object. They work either as a subject or an object in sentences, okay? Now, looking at our book, page 56, for the writing corner, as we said, this is just a summary of what we covered now. Gerunds and gerund phrases can act as subjects, like deciding what to wear, like deciding here. This is the subject. Deciding, it's a gerund. In this statement, it works as a subject. For example, is usually of very little consequences. So this is the statement. Deciding here is the gerund which works here as the subject. Gerunds and gerund phrases, they can act as a direct object. Here it's a subject, here it's a direct object of verbs. What is the example? The next time it's called, you will consider wearing a jacket, wearing a jacket. So here we have the subject, here we have the verb, will consider, this is the verb phrase, and wearing, this is the direct object, okay? Here it's the direct object. Another way of using gerunds, gerund can act as objects of prepositions. Object of prepositions, يعني ايش يا miss? What are the prepositions? Like of, on, in, these are prepositions, okay? Sometimes here we have examples, before, after, for, of, in, without. These are prepositions. Sometimes we have a gerund after these prepositions. We call it the object of that preposition, okay? We call it the object of preposition. Like here, we have the example here. Make a list of the positive and negative aspects before deciding. Deciding here, it's a gerund. It's the object of the preposition before, okay? So this is how do we form gerunds, and how does it work in sentences that it function as a noun. Sometimes we find it as a subject of the sentence, sometimes as a direct object of the verb, and sometimes we find it after prepositions. It works as the object of that preposition, like here. Before, deciding. Deciding, it's the object of the preposition before, okay? This is the summary. Now looking at the exercise on top of it in the same page, we have, you have to read the article and underline the prepositions, okay? Let's read it together, okay? Making choices. Your life is a result of the choices you make. Some everyday choices are simple and usually have very little impact on your life, while others can have serious consequences on your future. Reading this part, can you see gerunds? Here they want us to underline the gerunds, صح? Can you see any gerunds here? No, I can't see anything. Can you see something in the first few sentences? No, I can't see any gerunds. Okay, now moving on to the second part. Deciding what to wear or what to eat for lunch, for example, is usually of very little consequences. So until this sentence, the first sentence, can you see gerund? Yes, where is it? Deciding. So deciding is the gerund. Here in this sentence, does it work as an object, subject, object of preposition? What does it work in this sentence? It functions as what? As the subject of the sentence. Excellent. Here it works as the subject of the sentence. Can you see any other gerunds in the sentence? No, we can't. So let's continue reading. If you choose not to wear a jacket on a cold day, the worst thing that can happen is that you may come down with a cold or for a few days. Until here, the second sentence. Can you see anything? Can you see a gerund? No, there isn't. We can't see any. Now continue reading. Choosing not to study for a test, however, could have more serious consequences. This is the third sentence. Can you see a gerund? Yes, we have choosing, the gerund, choosing. So underline it or circle the gerund. So we have the first one, which is deciding, and then choosing. This is the second one. Let's continue reading. If you don't study, you will probably get a low grade or fail the test. Yet, sometimes making bad choices like these can help you learn to make good ones in the future. Until here, can you just scan the text, read it quickly? Can you see a gerund? I can't see any. Okay, let's continue reading. The next time it's cold, you will consider wearing a jacket. So this is a sentence from here to here. Can you see? Can you see a gerund? Yes, there is wearing. Here, wearing, does it work as a subject, object, or object of preposition? How does it work? It works as, does it work? It works as an object. We have here the subject, here we have the verb, and here we have wearing, which work as the object of preposition. There is another verb here. If you look at this sentence from here to here, there is a gerund, not a verb, sorry. There is a gerund. Can you see it? Read it again. Yet sometimes making bad choices like these can help you learn to make good ones. Can you see the gerund? Yes, excellent. We have making, it's a gerund which function as a sentence. Now let's see the last sentence in this part. And the next time you have a test, you will study hard so that you won't end up failing. Can you see a gerund? Yes, which is failing. This is the gerund. Now continuing the text here, underlining the gerunds. Let's read. But life also has more important choices to make, such as deciding on a career to follow or which university to attend. Read it. Can you see a gerund? Such as deciding. This is the gerund we have. Making decisions like these, let's continue from here. Making decisions like these is often difficult, so it's important to think about them carefully. Where is the gerund? Excellent. Making. Making is the gerund. One way to do this is to make a list of the positive and negative aspects before deciding. Till here, can you see a gerund? It's like this one, the same word, deciding. This is the gerund, okay? Here, does it work as a subject? This deciding. Does it work as a subject or an object or object of preposition? look before it. Look at the whole sentence. We have before. So here it functions as an object of preposition. Before is one of the prepositions mentioned in the table. Did you read it? We have in, on, off, before, some words. One of them is before. After comparing them, the right choice may seem clear. After comparing, excellent, is the gerund, which works, we have it after the word after, so it works as an object of preposition. Continuing, another thing you can do is ask someone that you trust for advice. An older member of the family or a teacher who has had more life experience will be able to guide you in the right direction. Can you see a gerund? Read it. Another thing, you can just scan it. You can't see a gerund. I can't see a gerund also. So this is it. We read the text. We circled the gerund. And we thought about it if we see a preposition before it, so it will be an object of preposition. If it's after the verb, then it's the direct object. If it's in the beginning of the sentence, we can say it's the subject, okay? Hopefully it makes everything easier for all of you. Now moving on to the writing, okay? For the writing, remember that you are responsible for making choices whether they are good or bad. Do you agree with this statement? We are responsible of our choices, صح? Whether the choice is good, we will suffer the consequences. If it's bad, we will see the consequences. Okay, like if you choose to, for example, if you choose to not studying for the exam, then you will have a lower grade, صح? This is the result. The consequences we will suffer because we chose not to study, صح? If you study hard, you will see a good grade and you will see the result. So we will see the consequences and we are responsible for it because we made the choice, okay? If you realize that a choice you have made is wrong when you did something and you realize that this choice you made is wrong, then it's up to you to decide how to make it right. You have to think how to correct your mistake, how to make the choice you made, the wrong mistake, as a right one, okay? B, write notes in the chart about personal choices. Now thinking about our choices, whether bad or good, okay? Thinking about these choices you have made and their consequences. We have a table on your book. We have the choices and we have the consequences, the result, okay? I have an example here. You have to do something similar. I am choosing to attend college. I decided to attend college. Instead of working after I finish my high school, I said I want to attend college. I don't want to work. I had two choices. So I made the choice to attend college. So the result, I became a teacher. This is the result. Can you think about decisions and choices you made, whether the choices are good or bad? You can write it down, okay? Try to fill up this table with your choices and the consequences, the result of your choice. Pause the video, please. Write it down, and then let's see what I have. I am sure you did something really interesting. You have different choices. You have different statements you have written. So another choice I have here, I did not study for math exam. Okay, I didn't study. This is a choice I made. Okay, got low grades. This is the result. Okay, take English language course. The result will be I have better chance to join college. My chance to join the college were much higher than if I didn't attend English courses. Stayed up late. This is a wrong choice I made. Could not focus in class. Okay, I couldn't focus because I stayed up late all night. So in the morning, I can't focus. So these are some of the choices and some of the consequences. Okay? Now let's use this table on the writing. Exercise C. Write about choices that you have made and their positive and negative consequence. Who has influenced your choice? Who helped you make these choices, whether wrong or good? Okay? What have you learned from the bad choices? Did you learn something from these choices, or you didn't learn anything? Okay? Think about it. You have to transfer the table, the choices, whether good or bad, and the consequences, transfer it into sentences. Okay? Making choices. I have this introduction. You can use this same introduction and then write down the text. Let's read the introduction. Making choices isn't always easy because the choices we make can affect our future. Do you agree? Any choice we make, it can affect our future. Personally, I have made both good and bad decisions in my life. You can use this introduction to help you starting the writing and then continue the writing. I have written something. Hopefully, it makes everything easier for you. For me, choosing to attend college was one of the best decisions I have ever made. I had to work hard and study a lot, but I also learned that I can achieve my goals. With my college degree, I was able to find a satisfying job as a teacher. I chose to take English language courses, which led to becoming an English teacher. So I wrote some of the good decisions I made and their consequences. Okay, you can write something similar to this. Also, I stayed up late. So here in the second paragraph, I started to write about the bad choices. Also, I stayed up late for some nights during my studies. I was very tired and sleepy during the classes. I could not concentrate. One time, I did not study for my math exam. I got low grades and my parents were angry with me for some time. So I started with the introduction. The first paragraph I wrote about the good choices I made. The second paragraph I wrote about the negative or the bad choices I made. Okay? Now for your homework, you have to do the writing. Also page 122 as a homework. What did we cover in our lesson today? We covered the gerunds. How do we form it in sentences? Write about choices you have made and their consequences. Okay, this is what we covered in our lesson. If you can open your books, page 82, we have 3 verbs we will cover, inshallah, today. We have the verb know, knew, and known. Okay, we have these 3 verbs. How can we see it in sentences? In the present sentence, Saeed knows a lot about computers. This is in the present. The past, Saeed knew a lot about computers. And the third form of the verb, Saeed has known a lot about computers. The second verb for today, we have here a picture. The flight is delayed, so we have leave, left, left. Okay? The flight leaves late. The flight left late. This is the past. The flight has left late. Okay, this is the present perfect, the third form of the verb. The last verb for today, we have lend, lent, and lent. Okay? Will you lend me some money? When we're talking about the present, he lent him some money, past, and he has lent him some money. That's it for today. Thank you for listening, and inshallah I will see you next class.